ark, but they didn't want Israel's God. What do you do when you have something on your hands that you really don't want? Israel's God was represented in the ark, and also God's presence was with the ark. Listen to me carefully this morning as I build for hopefully what will be the climaxing point next Sunday. It appears that the Philistines saw the ark as some kind of supernatural but non-personal, magical piece of furniture that once was under their possession, they could use it against Israel. Now we've got your secret weapon. We're going to use it to our benefit. That was probably their mindset. Otherwise, why would they take it? Now, this reminds me of some people who see the physical church the same way the Philistines used or tried to use the Ark of the Covenant. What do you mean by that, Pastor? That is, when they see things are going sideways in their lives, they believe that all they need to do is start going to the church again, and everything will be all right. In the same way, there are some people who think about the Bible that they have had around their house for a long time. When things are going bad for them, they begin searching high and low to try to find that Bible their parents or their church gave them, maybe even when they were a child. Now they want to pick it up again. They're motivated and read it, thinking that just in reading the Bible or having the Bible near them, sitting next to their bed on the nightstand, that's going to please God, and all the things going wrong in their life will suddenly turn around. Even though they know full well, as soon as things start to straighten out, they're going to go back to their old ways and forget God. Forget God's word. Fall right back in the same old patterns. The point I'm trying to make is that we can't trick God. God doesn't fall for that. One's relationship with God cannot be reduced to God being a hobby that we pick up when other things are not taking up our time. We must also know that a genuine personal relationship with God is not available to those who are disingenuous. Let me read that again. A genuine personal relationship with God is not available to those who are disingenuous, or in other words, who are not sincere. If knowing, serving, and worshiping God is not your real goal, then you will find out God isn't interested in that kind of arm's length relationship, because the Bible does not teach the possibility of us having a casual relationship with God that lacks genuine commitment to Him. Draw near to me, and I will draw near to you, James says in his epistle, chapter 4, verse 8. Christians have often said persons with this agenda were, quote unquote, playing church. They were insincere in trying to use our holy and powerful God to their benefit without making a sincere Christian commitment. Once again, there is no description of a true believer that looks like this. And this is exactly what the Philistines had in mind. They were not about to make a genuine commitment to the God of Israel, Yahweh. But they thought that maybe if they could use this ark to their benefit, if they could borrow some of God's power, they certainly would do so. And once the Philistines had possession of the ark, they thought they could strategically move it to wherever they chose to and wherever it would benefit them the most. Manipulate God. And as it were, in this case, they moved the Ark of the Covenant to Ashdod, one of the chief places where they worshiped Dagon, the Philistines' god of fertility. Worship of this god of fertility had been taking place for 2,000 years. That wasn't anything new. Once the ark was in Ashdod, the Philistines then placed the ark in their temple, the temple of Dagon. You can't mix God with false worship. You can't mix the true God with false gods. You can't mix true doctrine with false doctrine. The Philistines thought they were in complete control of things. We've got the ark now. And having the largest army physically, and now having the ark meant to them, they were truly invincible. They have all the cards in their hands, so to speak. The name Ashdod, by the way, means fortified. And the city, it was well fortified. It was set up on a perch or a plateau, which means it would be difficult for opposing armies to get to them in the first place. But now they have possession of Israel's secret weapon, the mysteriously powerful Ark of the Covenant. The Philistines must have thought they were completely invincible. No one can defeat us now, and certainly not this ragtag bunch called Israel. They had a fearless army, and now they have the Ark of the Covenant. The ark is now in the temple of Dagon, the Philistines' god, whose image, according to popular belief, was the upper body, the head, and the chest and hands of a man. But the lower part, from the waist down, had the torso of a fish. Dagon was the Philistines' god of fertility and was considered the national god of the Philistines, according to the Eastern Bible Dictionary. Fish in Hebrew, they were called dag, D-A-G, which pointed to their extraordinary ability to reproduce. So thus, Dagon, the god of fertility for the Philistines. Like other religions, their pagan god had a temple and had a priest. And when the Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant, they placed the ark in their temple in Ashdod next to Dagon. That was a mistake. If you want to compare a false god with the true and living God, be prepared for the truth. Just what was inside the Ark of the Covenant? What's so big? Such a big deal about this Ark of the Covenant anyway? Well, according to Hebrews 9:4, there were three things things that were inside of the ark, placed inside of the Ark of the Covenant. I want to say, first of all, regarding how this ark was constructed, it was made of acacia wood. Acacia wood was a wood that was known to be indestructible. It could not decay or rot. But that wasn't enough. The Ark of the Covenant was also to be overladen with pure gold. And then the Ark of the Covenant, on the lid of the Ark of the Covenant, the top of it, were a fabulous representation of two golden cherubim with their wings spread, and in between them, of course, was a space, and this was the space where the Spirit of God dwelt mysteriously. What was inside of the Ark of the Covenant? First of all, there were the two tablets that the Ten Commandments were written on. The second thing that was in the ark was Aaron's rod, or his staff, that supernaturally budded. And the third thing that was in the Ark of the Covenant was a jar of manna. You know, that bread that fell from heaven that fed the Israelites for many, many years when they were walking in the wilderness? A jar of manna, a stick, a jar of bread, and two stones were in the ark. But they all had divine significance. First of all, the tables of stone represented Israel as being a sanctified people, set apart. They were the only people the Ten Commandments was given to. The only people on the earth who were given this law that separated them from all the other nations of the world. They were different. then Aaron's rod represented God's call